I'm already a millionaire in my mind. I may not see it yet, but I believe it now. In the same way a seed is called by its finished form, I'm accepting my divine inheritance as a child of God. I'm meant to have life and have it more abundantly. My treasure on earth shall correspond directly to the treasure in the heaven of my mind. Abundance is my birthright. Ashe, amen, and so it is. My name is Jullien Gordon, and I'm author of Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. After becoming a multimillionaire through real estate investing, I was moved by God at the beginning of the pandemic to share my money mindset that allowed me to quit my job in January of 2009 at the bottom of the last recession and achieve full financial freedom. I own my mental real estate before I own any physical real estate. This book is like some of your favorites: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, As a Man Thinketh, Think and Grow Rich, and the Bible all in one. But the divine downloads and thoughts that are in here are 100% original and came to me over a 6-month period at the beginning of the pandemic. This book is normally $100 on Amazon if you went there right now, but I want to give you access to it for free by inviting you to our next reading group. Yes, the reading group is 100% free. Every weekday for 100 days straight, I'll be reading and discussing the 10 money commandments in the book that make money come to you in your life easily, more frequently, and abundantly. And it will take about 30 to 45 minutes as we read 3 to 5 pages per day until we finish the book and reprogram your mind around money. Why 100 days? Well, if you are 30 years old, you've lived for 10,950 days. And we have to deprogram and reprogram the negative, scarcity-based money mindset society has taught you. And I believe I can do that in just 1% of the time in about 100 days. I'm done with shelf help. You know, when you buy a book to change your life, but you never read it, it just sits on your bookshelf and collects a whole bunch of dust. We off that. When is the last time you had an author actually read their book to you out loud because they cared about you getting the information in your soul? I'm not just here to get this book in your hands. More importantly, I want to get it in your head and your heart, because that's where the real transformation occurs, in the conscious and the subconscious mind. As scripture says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is not the type of book that you just read once. To renew the subconscious mind requires repetition over and over and over. So if you joined us last time, I encourage you to join us again. I myself have read this book over 10 times already. So click the link to join our next reading group, and when you sign up, I'm going to give you the first 2 chapters of the book for absolutely free on what is money and abundance is your birthright, so that you can start your journey to a more abundant life today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Grand Rising, Rich Rising. So happy to have you here. We are now entering into week 4 of Read Rich and Righteous. We're reading Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. This is my 100-day money mindset reprogram, and today is day 17. I hope you had a great strong end. I hope you were able to take Sabbath to be able to take some rest so that you could start this week strong. I'm so excited about today. We are getting into and continuing money commandment number 1 on how the rich and the righteous measure wealth. And today we are reading the section on time freedom is true freedom. So we'll be on pages 77 to 82. If you do not have the book, you're joining us for the first time, you can go to richrightnow.com, richrightnow.com. You can sign up for the 100-day challenge absolutely free. It's never too late to begin. We are on day 17. I'm going to get your consistency scores in just a second. I see you already typing them in. But if you're joining us for the first time, go to richrightnow.com to join the challenge for absolutely free. If you would like the ebook, you can get that on the thank you page there. The ebook is $49. You also get the audio book, and you get the recordings that you may have missed. For those of you who want physical copies of the book and like to write in your book like I do, you can also get that on the thank you page once you go to richrightnow.com. You know, when I look at your consistency scores, in fact, go ahead and put those in. I'll introduce the consistency scores to everybody who's new. For those of you who are brand new, go ahead and type a 0 right now. Go ahead and type a 0. You'll have a 1 by the end of this particular session, but we are seeking to create consistency. You reprogram the subconscious mind through repetition and consistency. And so we are tracking how consistent we're being in this process of reprogramming our mind around money. And I believe that those who are the most consistent are going to have the greatest results. And so I know you see some 17s there, some 16s. A lot of people are in the teens right now, and if you get the replays, you'll be able to go back and catch up and update your consistency score. Now, the replays each week get taken down. So the replays from last week got taken down on Sunday. So you have to stay on track, right? You have to stay on track. This is not something that you can binge watch later, and it's designed that way intentionally so that you stay focused and don't continue to kick the can. You've been relating to and working with money for 30, 40, 50 years, and you're going to have to continue to do so until the day you die. And so we want to transform the relationship that you have with money once and for all. If you've been on this earth for 30 years, that's 10,950 days. And here we are focused on 100 days. I believe that I can turn your entire mindset around on money in just 100 days, which is less than 1% of that time. So today we are reading Time Freedom. We are in the money commandment number 1 on how the rich and righteous measure money, and we are on pages 77 through 82 today. And so I want to get right into the reading, get our this week off to a strong start, and so let's get right into it. Oh, a quick announcement: we are going to create a Mighty Networks group for all Read Rich and Righteous all Rich and Righteous buyers. Anybody who buys the ebook or the physical copies of the book, we're going to create a Mighty Networks group for you. We had a Facebook group, but again, these algorithms are trippy. This is why I need you to like and share this video to tap into those algorithms, because for whatever reason, our Facebook group is not getting the engagement that we desire. So we're actually switching over to Mighty Networks, and all of you who have bought the Rich and Righteous ebook or audiobook, you'll be invited to that group so that we can actually track our success, share our testimonies. We call them testimonies, right? That's what we're doing. We're sharing our test of monies, sharing your insights from each particular reading, and any other content that you find on the internet that is relevant to this way of thinking. You can bring that into the group. And so I want to create a private community of just us so that we can have more engagement. I know you try to connect in the YouTube chat and on other social media platforms, but we want that to be a long-lasting relationship because we're all on this journey together. We're on a journey to create the wealthiest family in the world. My mission is to make the righteous rich and to help 100,000 people achieve $1 million in net worth. Together, that's $100 billion. That would make us the 5th wealthiest family in the world as of today, right? We're unified not by blood or lineage, but by consciousness. And so that's what we're seeking to do here. And Read Rich and Righteous is the first domino in that. It is the initiator of that particular vision. And it's a long-term vision, and that's okay. I'm committed to it. And so I'm here to serve you to help transform your mindset around money in the way that mine has been transformed. As you know, scripture says, be ye transformed by the renewing of what? Of your mind, not your job. Doesn't say be ye transformed by the renewing of your job. Doesn't say be ye transformed by the renewing of your relationships. No, it says be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, and then all of these things beneath will change according to your mindset. All right, so let's get into it. If you actually have your books, right? If you have a book or the ebook, everybody type I got it, G-O-D. Everybody type I got it if you already got it. I got it. And that's what we're doing. I got it. We also have to know when to let God get it, right? But I got it, right? We are little gods, lowercase g. As children of God, we are just little gods. And I know religion has convinced you that you are other than that. But if you look at John 10:34, Jesus' own quotes, is it not written in your law, I have said ye are gods. And so we are here to create like the great creator, right? We are here to be gods on earth, bring heaven on earth in the same way that God created us. And so we're just trying to be like, they say she get it from her mama, right? We try to get it from our father, right? In the same exact way. So we are gods on earth, lowercase g. There's only one OG though. All right. All right. So with that, we are on page 77. We're on page 77. Let me just check my announcements. I think that is it. Let's get it in, family. All right. So every particular reading starts with the scripture. Today's reading is Psalm 39, 4 through 5. Okay. And we're on page 77. Time freedom is true freedom. Lord, remind me how brief my time on earth will be. Remind me that my days are numbered, how fleeting my life is. You have made my life no longer than the width of my hand. My entire lifetime is just a moment to you. At best, each of us is but a breath. All right. So that's just reminding us of how short this physical, material life experience is. Right. And so the most valuable thing actually is time. And that's what we're going to dig into today. Top of page 77. You can know how much is in your bank account, but nobody knows how much is in their time account. Time is the most valuable thing we have. Yet most employees sell their time for wholesale Costco-like prices to employers who buy their time in volume. So each year you sell 2,000 plus hours, 40 hours a week times 50 weeks, right? You sell 2,000 hours to your employer in bulk for those of you who are employees, right? And so because they're buying it in volume in bulk, just like at Costco, you're giving them a discount. Whereas if you knew how to command your true value on your own outside the context of a job, right, then you would be able to double, triple, quadruple, etc. your income. Right? So we want you to be able to stand in your own value and even command the value that you truly desire and deserve within that organization if that's what you choose to do. Okay. This is not a bashing of jobs. It's just saying that having a job typically will limit you unless you have equity, right, in that company, unless you accelerate all the way to the top, right, where there are 7-figure salaries and things of that nature. Having a job will put a salary cap on you, and we're here to take off that salary cap. All right. So the truth is that you are worth more than they pay you, right? Don't sell yourself short. You are likely leaving a lot of money on the table for the false sense of security from a salary. And last week we talked about a salary being slavery, right? If you're not careful, a salary can be slavery. So everybody in chat type, I am worth what I accept. I am worth what I accept. I need you to understand that. I am worth what I accept. You may think you deserve more. You may think that you're worth more, but you know what you're really worth? You are worth what you're actually accepting. That's it. You are worth what you are accepting. Because if you were truly worth more, if you truly believe that you were worth more, then guess what? You would go get more. If you're making $40 an hour right now, and you really believe that you're worth $80 an hour right now, then you would not stay in a relationship where you're only getting $40 an hour. You would go command that. So you can think you're worth more all you want, but you're actually only worth what you are accepting. Okay? So we have to be mindful of how we think about ourselves and this talk, because faith without works is dead. Your works have to align with what you say you believe. If you knew how to sell yourself, you could command a lot more. Even if you're paid well, you aren't getting over on them. They are likely getting over on you to pay you so well. Having a job is okay as long as it is in alignment with who you are. You're being paid what you are worth, and you feel like it is a win-win situation. Okay? There's no such thing. I've said this before. There's no such thing as a good job that you hate. Oh, I got a good job though, but I don't like it. I hate it. There's no such thing as a good job you hate. If you hate it, it's not a good job, no matter how much you get paid and what other people's perception of that job or that career is. If you don't find joy in that work, then it is not a good job, period. All right? So, see, at the end of the day, most people, they actually don't hate their job or their boss. They hate themselves for staying. They want to outwardly project their inner self-hate on to something outside of themselves, like their job or their boss, right? Or even their colleagues. But the reality is that we hate ourselves for staying in a situation that we don't like, because we feel disempowered. We don't have the courage to go out and find something new, to learn something new. And so the hate is just being outwardly projected from within. And we're going to talk about your inner life being projected outwardly on the screen of your material life later on. All right. Second paragraph, page 77. One of the most powerful ways to achieve time freedom is to buy time. I know that sounds crazy, like as if time is on a shelf in a store somewhere and you can just go buy it. You can. Watch this. If time is priceless, how do you do that? If you've ever been paid hourly or salary, someone bought your time, didn't they? Your employer bought your time. Your customer bought your time, right? So we know that time is for sale. Again, Costco wholesale prices. You sold 2,000 hours of time every single year to your employer. You may not have a company like the one that employed you, but you can still hire people to do things that you are not that are not worth your time, and you do it all the time. Okay? No pun intended. Some people try to DIY or do it yourself everything from mowing their lawn to fixing their toilet, changing their oil, and cleaning their house, when in some cases it would be best to pay someone else. To the gardener, right? To the plumber, to the oil changer, to the house cleaner, guess what? You can buy their time. That's what you're doing. I want you to think about it differently. You're not just buying the service. You're buying someone else's time to actually save you time. You're buying someone else's time to save you time. You think you are saving money by trying to do all these things on your own, but it's actually costing you time, money, and mistakes. It's actually more costly. This is not the only cost there is. The cost to you doing your lawn yourself, the cost to you doing your oil yourself, the cost to you cleaning your house yourself is not just the financial cost that you would have paid the other entity or the service provider. There's other costs that come with that, right? Someone who specializes in these things, has been doing it for 20 years, can do whatever you're trying to do in 60 minutes. In contrast, it's going to take you 60 minutes to watch a YouTube video to try to learn, 60 minutes to go to the store and buy the things that the service provider already has, 60 minutes on your first attempt, 60 minutes of frustration, and 60 minutes on your second attempt. That's 5 hours when you could have simply just paid somebody, right, who has the skill set and the expertise to actually have got it done in an hour, and you would have had 5 hours of your life back. So we have to be very careful with this DIY culture. Even then, the project, once you're done with it, trying to do it on your own, the project likely won't come out the way you envision. All this time, you could have been enjoying life, doing something you loved with the people that you loved. Okay? This is about energy management. It's not just about time management, it's about energy management. And if you're giving your energy to things that are not of your highest value, then you're wasting energy, right? Outsourcing, automating, and delegating are essential when it comes to building more wealth. Okay, this is not just for companies. It's not just for entrepreneurs. It applies to everyone. Initially, it may feel like it costs you money, but when you know your true value and the value of your time, you will see how it is leading you to true wealth. For example, if you have the capability of earning $100 per hour, you should not be gardening or cleaning your house if you can pay someone else $30 per hour to do these tasks. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. If you have the capability of earning $100 per hour, you should not be gardening or cleaning your house if you can pay someone else $30 per hour to do those tasks. If it would take you 2 hours to do both of those tasks, you may have saved $60 from not paying the gardener and housekeeper $30 each. But in actuality, the actual cost, it actually cost you $200 and 2 hours of time. It actually cost you $200 and 2 hours of time, right? Because if you, let's just say it's Saturday, okay? We typically don't like to work on strong ends, but let's just say it's Saturday. You could have actually been doing your purpose and serving somebody else at $100 an hour, right? So you could have earned 2 hours from 10 a.m. to noon, right? And at the same time, the gardener and the house cleaner could have been there and you would have had to pay them $30, right? And not only would you have saved 5 hours from trying to do it yourself, but on top of that, you earned $200 and you only paid them $60. So you're still profiting $140. Plus you have 4 hours of your time back that you would have spent trying to do both of those activities on your own to try to save $60. Are you seeing how this works? Okay. But the key is that you have to be aware of what your true value is, right? How you actually command that $100 an hour or whatever it is that you command. Instead, your gardener and housekeeper could have been there at the same time while you only put in 1 hour of work and that yielded $100. After paying them each $30, you are left with $40 and 1 hour of your time back. The only reason you should be doing tasks that are below your pay grade is if they are your hobby or bring you peace. So I'm not saying that you should never do DIY, right? Perhaps just if you are doing DIY, be very aware and intentional that this is my hobby. I actually want to learn this, or this thing over here, cleaning my house, actually brings me joy and peace, right? If you're doing it for those reasons, I completely understand. That's the emotional value, right? That is the social value, because that activity is your passion. Or you're developing it into a passion. That's okay. So I'm not saying DIY everything and just always be out here working for, actually we never work for money, but doing work that actually yields money, okay? I don't work for money, but I do make money from work, right? So we want to be very clear about that distinction. Is everybody clear on this? So you have to understand, right, your true value. And if there are service providers, right, your team that you can outsource, automate, or delegate to, then this is how you create wealth, by not doing the minutia. See, one of the things that bogs us down in life is all the minutia, all of our to-do list items. You get off of your work week and then you have all these to-do list items that you could not take care of during the work week. But in some cases, it's actually going to be better for you to hire somebody to do that so you can rest on your strong end, so you can spend more time with your family, so you can go do your passion or your hobby or exercise, right? This is where the true richness and the value of life is. You're taking exercise and taking care of your body temple. You're having brunch with friends, being very intentional about your community. You're spending quality time with your family. That's where the richness of life is, not just getting your to-do list checked off. Okay? Life is not about your to-do list. There's only one thing that you really need to do in life, and that's your purpose. That is your purpose. That is the thing that's going to bring you the greatest joy in addition to the love generated from the people that are around you. Okay? Remember, I told you before, a lot of us are checking off all kinds of boxes, right, on our bucket list, but then we go to God at the end of life and we say, here's all the things that I accomplished, and you fail to do the one thing that I created you to do. I see this whole list, and this is a long resume, right? But you failed to do the one thing that I created you to do. I make the joke of the husband going to the grocery store all the time. I need you to get bread. All right, I got it. Go to the grocery store, get chips, get drinks, get all kinds of stuff. Come back home. Here, I got all kinds of stuff. I went above and beyond. Wife looking through the bag. Where's the bread? Right? You did all this stuff, but you didn't do the one thing that I sent you to do. The one thing I called you to do. Right? And so that's how many of us are operating. So we want to try to get all the minutia off of our plate, right? So that we can focus on doing the one thing that we are created to do and spending time, quality time with those that we love. All right. We're on the bottom, our last sentence on page 78. There are people who love to do the things that you hate. It may be hard to fathom, but it's true. That's crazy, right? You know, there's people who actually love picking up trash. There's people who love gardening. There's people who love cleaning. There's people who love digging in your house gutters. There's people who love working on cars. There's people who love that. And it may be hard for you to fathom that because you don't love it. Why? Because that's not your zone of genius. That is not in alignment with your purpose. You don't love it. And so it's hard to fathom that, yes, there are people out there who actually love those things that would happily receive payment for you to do those things. This is how we create the rich and righteous economy that we're ultimately trying to create. We have to find who loves the things that we hate and pay them to do those things so that we can stay in our zone of love. Okay? We don't look down on people who like to do tasks that seem beneath us. We don't look down on the cleaning person. We don't look down on the gardener. We don't look down on the garbage man. Okay? Instead, we are grateful for their gifts. Everybody type that in. I am grateful for their gifts. I don't know why they love doing that thing, right? I don't know. I have no clue. That's none of my business. I just know that they love it. I know that I see a sense of joy in them when they're doing it, right? And I don't get that kind of joy from that activity. And that's okay. Okay? In any economy, some gifts don't command the price tag of others, right? But since we don't operate from a place of comparison, that doesn't matter. Okay? What matters most is that we created a personal economy and community of people who enjoy their jobs and do them well. The meaning one gets from doing what they love often fills any apparent gaps in money because living your purpose is more important than solely seeking profit. Okay? Any service provider that you have in your cell phone right now, whether it's a doctor, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's your insurance provider, whether it's your gardener, whether it's your housekeeper, etc., any service provider in your phone is on your personal team. So even though you might be an employee, or even if you are an entrepreneur, you still need to do this in your personal life, you have a team. It is not just you. It's not just you and your significant other, right? It is your entire team. This is your personal economy and a personal community, right? Of service providers, right? So this is really, really key, is we have to build that team. And many of you already have a team and weren't fully aware of it. Second paragraph, page 79. One of the biggest myths about money is that time is money. Everybody type this in. Time is not money. Time is not money. We need to debunk that myth. Time is like money, But time is a lot more valuable than money. Steve Jobs had a lot of money but ran out of time. How much do you think he would have paid to live another 10 years? Just what's your guess? How much do you think Steve Jobs would have paid? What percentage of his wealth would he have paid to live another 10 years? In all honesty, based on his awareness, I think he would have paid all of it. Or let's just personalize it. If you knew you were on your deathbed and you had a choice between giving all your wealth up and getting another 10 years or dying, which one would you choose? You would give it all up. I would give it all up to live another 10 years if I had to choose between 10 years and 1 day. Okay? Time is like money in that you can spend it, lose it, waste it, invest it, plan to use it, and run out of it. Both are man-made concepts, and it never feels like you have enough. But time is not like money in that you can't get time back. You can't save time, and you can't make more of it. You can do something for money, but you can't do something for time, except take care of your health, right? When you take care of the body temple, it gives you a better probability. It doesn't guarantee, but it gives you a better probability of having more time, a live time, not in a wheelchair time, a live time on this earth. Time is priceless. Therefore, anytime I can buy more time through outsourcing, automating, delegating, and systems, I will do it without thought. Okay? Here's the big one. This is going to change your mindset forever. Everything doesn't cost money. Everything costs time. Everybody type that. Anchor that in right now. Everything costs time. Stop thinking about things based on money. When you go into the grocery store, when you go into the clothing store, wherever you're shopping, stop thinking about things in terms of money. Everything actually costs time. And let me explain that to you. Bottom paragraph on page 79. Imagine a CEO who makes $100 per hour and a janitor who makes $10 per hour. And a new iPhone priced at $1,000 comes out and they both want it. How much does the phone cost the CEO and how much does it cost the janitor? Well, the price tag at the Apple store is $1,000 for both of them, right? But it actually costs them both different amounts of time. Based on how we currently think about money, most people would initially think that the phone cost them both $1,000. That is only half true, right? We talked about facts and truth, right? This is a fact. It's going to cost them both $1,000, but it's not actually the truth. $1,000 is the financial cost of the phone, but it doesn't account for the true cost of the phone. Since the CEO makes $100 per hour, it costs them 10 hours to buy the phone. It costs them 10 hours to buy the phone, which could be the equivalent of one long workday. Let's say the CEO works 50 hours a week, 10 hours a day, right? That's one long workday for them. However, since the janitor only makes $10 per hour, it costs them how many hours? It costs them 100 hours to buy the same phone, which is equivalent to 2.5 40-hour work weeks. 2.5 40-hour work weeks. So it costs the CEO one long workday, and it costs the janitor 2.5 work weeks, okay, which is more than half a month. When you remember that money is simply stored energy and you evaluate your purchases based on the energy you gave instead of the financial price you paid, it will change the way you use your money, okay? So now when you're thinking about that trip, when you're thinking about that car note, when you're thinking about those shoes, when you're thinking about that bag, right? When you're thinking about these things, say, here's how much value I'm commanding currently. It's not my true value. Here's what I'm commanding currently. This is what I'm accepting currently, right? I'm only accepting $50 an hour, right? And this bag cost $1,000. So this is actually going to cost me 20 hours of work. And that's before taxes, right? So it's probably going to cost me around 30 hours of work. Am I willing to put in, right? What is that? Probably about Monday through Thursday. Am I willing to put in the next 4 days of work to pay for this bag? Is that bag really that important to me? Right? I want you to start thinking about the things that you buy in terms of what the value you're actually commanding right now. Because everything doesn't cost money. It actually costs time. That's where some of the deception comes from. You're trying to be like the CEO. You're trying to have the things that the CEO has, right? But it costs them less time to get it. Right? And so this is why a lot of people are in economic bondage, because they're trying to operate and look like other people based on appearances, but they're not commanding the same value in the world as some of the people who have those things. Okay? Second paragraph, page 80. Okay? Everything costs time. Never trade something that is limited for something that is infinite. Time is a limited resource, and money is an unlimited resource. And I know that that hasn't fully taken root for a lot of people. A lot of people think that there's the actual money supply and money is limited. But we know that money is just stored energy. There are $1 million ideas in your mind right now. They just haven't been unlocked. So money is actually infinite. There's no limit on the actual money, the actual energy that is here in this world. The limit is on how much is unlocked. The limit is on how much is actually unlocked. And we're here to tap into that. So time is a limited resource and money is an unlimited resource. I mean, yes, there are only 3 limits to your wealth. Okay? There's only 3 limits to your wealth. You ready? It's your body, your time, and your mind. It's your body, your time, and your mind. There's only 3 limits to your wealth. Your body, your time, and your mind. Okay? So we want to be mindful of those. Your body is limited by physical laws, and how much time we have left is unknown. That's why you must monetize your mind. Out of those 3 things, the only one that has no limits is your mind. Dun, 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 dun. No limit soldiers. Nah, 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 nah. Right? Your mind is the only one that has no limits. Right? That's why you must monetize your mind, not try to monetize your time or your body, because those are limited. Why would I base my business model off of something that is limited? Right? Your mind is unlimited according to spiritual laws and your belief. Your mind can and will make you more money than your body ever could. Your mind can and will make you more money than your body ever could. Yet most people trade their valuable time, their valuable limited time, for worthless money all the time. Yet most people trade their valuable limited time for worthless money all the time. The real bag is not just having a lot of money. The real bag is having a lot of time freedom to do whatever you want with your life. Choose an asset class to master and focus on it to break free from the time for money trade and seek to make money with your mind, not just with your time. Okay? Everybody type this. I will monetize my mind. I will monetize my mind. Not my time. Not my body. I will monetize my mind. Why? Because that is unlimited. Last paragraph, page 80. We were taught to chase retirement and not freedom. When you chase retirement, you build up a pile of money over 40 years and then deplete it for 20. As we discussed last week, what do we want? We don't want a pile of money. We don't just want a pile of money. What do we want? We want a pipeline that keeps pouring into us, right? That's if we were taught to focus on freedom and not retirement, it would change the way we move. But we've been taught to stack up a pile of money, right? And we watch it deplete for 20 years after we retire. We want a pipeline of money. Okay. Now, yes, older generation, they retired. They have pension, 401 pension. It keeps coming in even after they've left the employer. That's not the same for the current generation, right? So we have to focus on our pipeline. The retirement game suggests that if I give enough time and stack enough money, one day around the age of 65, I'll be able to buy my time, right? Now, I don't want to wait until 65 to start enjoying my life, right? At that time, especially if the company has sucked the life force energy out of me, now I'm just too tired to do anything, right? I'm in a wheelchair. I'm having ailments, right? I say this all the time. People stay at jobs for healthcare, right? When it's a job that's making them sick. People stay at jobs because they got a good health insurance, but it's the job that's actually making them sick. You see how twisted that is? Well, again, like I said, back to full responsibility. It's not the job that's making them sick. It's them staying in a job that they hate that's actually making them sick. You always have a choice. I've been held up at gunpoint at the age of 18. I was held up at gunpoint. That was the only moment in my life where I felt I had no choice. Your employer is not holding you up at gunpoint. There's nobody holding you up at gunpoint. So if you are not happy where you are doing what you're doing, then it actually comes back to you. You just don't have the freedom or the courage or the belief in yourself, the sales ability, the skill sets in yourself. But you have the ability to develop those things. All right? So that is our focus. We never want to place blame outside because that disempowers us, right? So you don't have to trade 40 plus years of your most precious energy and time to enjoy perhaps 20 on the back end when you are tired, old, and worn out. That is a terrible trade. It is amazing to see people in their second acts. They traded time for money in their first act, but then they took that money and momentum and parlayed it into scalable businesses that were not based on their body and time, right? In fact, the Harvard Business Review debunked a big myth about successful entrepreneurs in that their age is not 20s. Successful entrepreneurs, the most successful entrepreneurs are not in their 20s, family. I know that's what you see when it comes to tech startups and things of that nature, right? And those are the most publicized. And when a young person is a multimillionaire or billionaire, that sometimes that's newsworthy, right? What the Harvard Business Review found is that the average age of a successful startup founder is, guess what? What do you think the age is, family? The average age of a successful startup founder is 45 years old. 45 years old. So I say that to say, family, that it's never too late. It's never too late. And that data is based on employment growth and the fastest sales growth in the first 5 years of operation amongst the top 0.1% of startups. Right? So it's never too late to start that business. You take that 20 years of experience that you have from that industry and you see what the industry was lacking, right? And you go fill that gap. Or it may be something completely different, but there's still skill sets in that. It may be in a different industry, but it may be transferable skill sets that you apply to another problem in the world. Okay? So look at this. You know Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson is a great example. He made around $25 million during his 15-year NBA career ending in 2000 and has grown that through businesses such as Starbucks, Fat Burgers, Magic Johnson Theaters, and ownership stakes in the Lakers and Dodgers, amongst others. This does not just apply to athletes, musicians, and other celebrities. The same can also be true for you. For instance, my original business after leaving the corporate plantation was speaking at colleges and companies. While I wasn't wholesaling 40 hours of my time every week, I was still trading time and value for money. I took the money from that business and invested into multifamily real estate, digital products, and software that can make me money while I sleep. Okay? So here's where one of the biggest mistakes happens for people. Money from your job is not for you to eat off of. Money from your job or money from active income is your seed. You're supposed to plant that seed and eat off of the passive income. Money from my job, type this. Money from my job is seed, not fruit. Money from my job is seed, not fruit. So you get money from your job. In this stage, you reduce your cost of living. You take the true income that you have, which is what's left over at the end of the month, and that is seed. You're not supposed to eat off of that. You plant that seed into a tree that then bears fruit, and you eat off of that tree that's going to bear fruit indefinitely forever. But we mistake the money from our job or from our active income, even entrepreneurs, as fruit. You're not supposed to eat of that. You're supposed to invest that into things that produce fruit naturally on their own, passive income. Okay? Invest your active income and eat off your passive income. Invest your active income and eat off your passive income. In the age of the internet, you can learn how to do just about anything online, and DIY has become the default. But DIY will cause you to die if you're not mindful. Okay? DIY will cause you to die faster because you have less time to live. DIY, trying to DIY everything, will cause you to die faster. And when you DIY, it's another, if you pronounce that, that's die. It will cause you to die faster because you have less time to live. You know, there's people out there who are famous for coupon cutting, but just think about it. They spend 4 hours looking for coupons and they save $25. You could have spent that 4 hours of energy commanding a lot more than $25, right? You see how trying to DIY things, it looks like it's saving you money, but it's actually costing you because you could have been doing other things that are more valuable and productive with that particular time. As you mature in your wealth consciousness, you will begin to see that trying to do everything on your own to save money is actually costing you time and money. Instead of trying to save money on gardening, cooking, cleaning, and things that of that nature by doing them yourself, you will begin to find more joy in staying in your lane and letting others who specialize in those things use their gifts. Now money is circulating because of you, right? I gave you this example. Who do you think is going to be wealthier? The person who seeks to get a house for themselves or the person who seeks to house others? Who's going to be wealthier? The person who seeks to get a job for themselves or the person who seeks to create jobs for others? And so even though many of you might be employees right now, you can still facilitate or create jobs for others through outsourcing, through delegating, right? You're stimulating their personal economy, right? You're circulating money now. So you are stimulating your personal economy while gaining time freedom and the ability to focus on giving your unique gift to the world. Remember that the goal is freedom and that everything costs time. Ask yourself, will this give me more freedom? Will this give me more freedom? How much time is this really costing me? Use these questions to decide if you're going to do it yourself, delegate it, outsource it, automate it, or delete it. Outsource everything you can except your spirituality. Outsource everything you can except your spirituality. Stop outsourcing your connection to God. Okay? That is your personal relationship. I'm happy with you outsourcing everything else in your life so that you can lock in and stay focused on the one thing that you were created to do. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. But never outsource your spirituality. And many of us have done that, right? You're supposed to study to show thyself approved. But how much time are you dedicating to your source? That is the secret to my success, is my alignment with the Creator, with God, right? This is why I challenge you all to tithe time. You think you're tithing money to the church or whatnot, right? You want to know a more powerful tithe? Start tithing your time. And then after you tithe your time, how about you give your whole life to serving God? What does tithing time look like? Well, if you're awake for 16 hours, that's 96 minutes a day. 96 minutes a day dedicated to your relationship with the source of your entire supply. You spend 8 hours a day at your job, which is not the source of your supply. It's a stream of income, but it's not the source. Okay, it's not your source of income. God is the source of all. Okay, but you dedicate 8 hours there. Do you have 96 minutes a day? Can you find 96 minutes to dedicate to God? You being here for 45 minutes to an hour, guess what? You're starting to tithe time now, family. You're tithing time. This is a beautiful thing. And ultimately, you want to do what I'm doing, which is giving your entire life in service to the Most High. All right? Oprah Winfrey said, last paragraph on page 82. Oprah Winfrey said, "My definition of real freedom comes from the movie Beloved, where the character Sethi said, Sethi that I played says, freedom is waking up in the morning and deciding for yourself what to do with the day. Imagine that. The purpose of financial freedom is to have time freedom to live life on your own terms and time. For most people, freedom doesn't just mean doing nothing, but your relationship to work goes from having to work to choosing to work. You get to wake up and decide if you work, when you work, where you work, who you work with, why you work, how much you work, and what you're working on. God's children can't help but create. God's children can't help but create. We are children of the Creator, so guess what? By default, what do? We create. So work will always be there. But working when you're free feels different than working because you have to. There is no greater feeling than walking in your God-given purpose daily, knowing that all your needs are and will be met. There's no greater feeling than walking in your God-given purpose daily, okay? Not just through volunteering occasionally, right? Daily, knowing that all your needs are and will be met. All right. So that concludes our reading for today. In the rituals workbook, you'll see the exercise there. In the rituals workbook, you're supposed to complete the exercise or ritual, which is how much does it cost? So you will go to week 1 in the workbook and where is it? You will go to week 1 and you will find the how much does it cost. Can't find it right now. It's in here though. And if you want the rituals workbook, you can go to richrightnow.com/store, richrightnow.com/store. The ritual workbook is how you anchor in all of these readings and teachings into your actual life, right? So we don't just read. I know some of you are just passively listening along. You're doing other things. But if you really want to anchor these things into your life, you want to actually do those exercises, right? It's like your homework in between our sessions, all right? So with that, if you just joined us, you found us through the algorithms or whatnot, you came in midway, we are reading Rich and Righteous, Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money Manifestation in Your Mind. And this is the 100-day money mindset reprogram. We call it Read Rich and Righteous. We're here every weekday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, primarily on YouTube, and you can join that at richrightnow.com. We will be reading tomorrow. We will be reading Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We'll be on page 83. We're still in money commandment number 1, and we'll continue with that. So in conclusion, let's take a moment and type in all of your takeaways from today. What are all of your takeaways from today? I'll read those off in chat. Obviously, the big one is time is not money, right? Time is not money. What is that? My active income is seed, not fruit. My active income is seed, not fruit. Okay? DIY will cause you to die faster. Yes, DIY will cause you to die faster. Everything does not cost money. It costs time. So as you look at your purchases, I want you to think about, I'm about to buy this. How much time, how much life force energy did I have to invest, or will I have to invest to pay for this thing? Janitor, CEO, making different amount of money. The iPhone did not cost them both $1,000, right? It cost them different amounts of time. All right? Cool? All right, cool. So with that, you know, I like to conclude with the statement, be God to yourself. Be God to yourself means love yourself as God loves you, right? It means to be master over yourself as God is master over you. And it means to remember that you are first cause in your life, and that no institution, individual, or situation outside of you has more power over the direction of your life than you. So go forth today and be God to yourself. I will see you tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here, and we will be answering the question, who wants to be a millionaire? I appreciate you, love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. What's up, y'all? It's Jullien from the Multi-Family Movement, and this is my community behind me. It's 300 of us out here in Baton Rouge for our tour of our commercial properties, our flips, our vacant lots. We're also raising money just to build this real estate portfolio collectively through group economics. So it's so beautiful to see everybody here. We 6 buses deep. This is also our building behind us at Legacy on 14th Street. So this is real estate in real life, and this is real people. This is not just some online community or course. We out here really doing it together as a collective. So this is family, multi-family movement in the building. Everybody say multi-family on 3. The whole crew, y'all. So when you want to learn how to get in the game, much love. Peace.